Today is July 27th. The Yankees made a trade. Clayton coming to the Yankees. Clay, Holmes, they get rid of Diego Castillo and Hoy Park. We'll talk all about that. We'll address some other trade rumors.
July
Whoa, echo. My bad. That's my bad.
Clayton.
And it's still going. And that's also still my bad. I didn't do the trick BBD taught me, and it's my bad. And now we'll just start the episode.
Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY, JOMBOY and Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talking Yanks with old JOMBOY, JOMBOY and Jake. Talking Yanks with old JOMBOy, JOMBOY and Jake.
But not Jake. Hello, welcome to Talkin' Yanks, brought to you by DraftKings. Jake is not here today. He is down in Key West preparing for his big lobster hunt, which I believe is tomorrow.
That's my understanding, is it's tomorrow.
What does he always refer to Jake as? His sweet Jessica. Their family is yearly vacation in Key West. I think he's hunting for lobsters tomorrow, which is like a tradition they do. And I mean, if there's anyone in the world that's not fit for lobster hunting, it's me and Jake and BBD probably. It's the three of us. So it's just not a lobster hunt podcast.
No.
We looked up how they do it, and the video we saw, they were holding on to a tow line behind a boat with scuba gear searching for lobsters, which sounds so miserable. Just getting dragged by a boat searching for rats, basically.
I mean, Sam said, Jake, are they pranking you? And it feels like a prank. Jess has done this every year and is, I think, pretty good at it, and she's already told him it's not easy.
Yeah.
And there's like pressure on him to get at least a lobster.
Yeah.
He's nervous.
So Jake's not here today. So it's just me and the Biebers. So we do get some action, though. We get a trade yesterday, and I want to talk about it. I want to talk about this trade more at length than it deserves, to be honest, because the reaction yesterday by Yankees fans was maybe the most embarrassing reaction a fan base can have. It was just crazy how wrapped up people are in emotions that they think they're feeling and they're not. They're just not. Like, did you know who Hoy Park was 4 months ago?
No, I maybe saw his name before, but know him? No.
No, because he's never been on a top prospect list. Did I know who he was? And I've been doing this. What episode is this? Talking Yanks 631, and we've had guys on that like talk about minor leaguers, and we do the farm system, and we do this, and I asked Jake yesterday.
The trade deadline, you try to figure out which minor leaguers could go.
I asked Jake yesterday. I said, I think we were doing the Patreon Q&A. I said, you didn't know who Hoy Park was, right? And Jake is a prospect guy. Like, I dabble in Yankees world, but he plays Utba. He's a prospect guy. And, man, like, Jake was like, no, I didn't know who he was. So, people went berserk yesterday just because they're angry at the Yankees, and I fully get that. I mean, last episode, I was angry at the Yankees and their whole entire, what's going on. So I want to break down the trade. It doesn't really deserve it. This is nothing more than a shrug trade. But I guess I'll break down, I'll explain why I say that. And I want to talk about it first, this isn't my opinion on it. This is my best guess at the reasons why this was made, in a way, the reasons why this trade happened. Like, if I had to try and guess what was said in the front office in the meetings with Cashman and his crew, this is probably why. So we start off with the prospects that got traded: Hoy June Park and Diego Castillo. Hoy June Park is 25 years old. He's tearing up AAA this year. He's got a .307 batting average, a .452 OBP, and a .981 OPS. Awesome. Tearing it up. .981 OPS. I like OPS as just like a standard stat. I still appreciate it just on it's basic, but it tells a story pretty simply. His highest OPS before that was .733 in AA when he was 23 years old in 2019. He's never been a bat. He's been, OBP's been good. Slugging's never been good. Highest slugging he's had in the minors was 370 in 2019. So there is like some gradual. He's never been a top prospect. And every scout that scouts players says he's a quadruple A player. Now, maybe he tapped into something this year, and this will last. How good he's hitting in AAA. Like he gets called up to the big leagues, and it will last. But reading the tea leaves and judging how the Yankees used him when he did get called up due to COVID and they didn't start him at all and they only gave him one at bat, they were dead set on trading this dude before that. Like they didn't want to call him up when he was getting all that hype. They didn't want to play him once he did get called up because they did not want this value that he just out of nowhere amassed for himself to get dropped at all. So the Yankees decided probably a month ago, like Hoy Jun Park is getting traded. And then they're like, shit, 5 guys just went down due to COVID. We got to call him up. Shit. But let's not play him because we don't want him to go 0 for 12 in 4 games. Yeah. And then
if we just don't play him, we can say, like, well, he actually was able to debut this year.
Yeah. So they knew they were going to trade this dude. And I'm not trying to knock, like, Hoy Jun Park. Maybe he comes up and maybe he's great. Like, Tyro Estrada's having a great month in San Francisco right now. And the Yankees got rid of him for free. Like, that seems like a misstep. We'll see where it goes from there. But I mean, people are acting like this dude.
Acting like they traded, like, Volpe or the Martian.
Yeah, like a top pick or like a coveted prospect. Like, he's never been on a top prospect list. I get it, but you should not be as upset as some people were acting like they're upset. Also, they were going to lose him this year anyway because he's not on the 40-man roster. They don't have room to protect infielders and a guy like this who's 25 years old, they're not going to protect him. So he was going to get scooped up in the year 5 draft this offseason anyway.
He could have been Rule 5 and somebody picked him and put him on their 40-man. And he was, I was looking into him, he's eligible for minor league free agency. So they're going to lose him for nothing no matter what this offseason.
Yes,
unless they decided he's going to be part of the 2022 Yankees. Yes,
which that's not where they need help right now. So, and Diego Castillo, the other prospect they sent to the Pirates, same story. He currently is tearing up, not tearing up is loosely used, but he's playing really well in Somerset at Double-A. He's got an 850 OPS. That's the highest OPS he's had since he was 17 years old in fall rookie ball. All his other seasons in the minors land in the 600 OPSs. So another dude that is he Rule 5 eligible? I think so.
I think he might also be the same minor league free agent after this year eligible.
So minor league free agent, Rule 5 eligible, not part of the Yankees' immediate future, and value is higher than it's ever been because there was never any value. So they took 2 guys that they were going to lose anyway.
From a value point before the season were
and cashed
0.
in, and they were worth 0. Now their value's so high, they cashed in on them. You don't have to love it. Like, I'm not saying, like, you should, like, have heart eyes and say this is an amazing move. I think it's kind of just, like, an obvious, okay, that's why they traded him high. But the people that were so upset yesterday are just trying, they're trying to tap into emotion that they genuinely, I don't even think they feel.
Park's, like, interesting and cool story, putting it together this year. Would he be the first guy to put it together at 25?
Yeah.
No. And, like, lefty stuff. He can play all the up-the-middle positions. Yeah, I get if you, like, were interested in him, but this is a no-brainer. You turn 2 guys who had no value 2 months ago, and you got a major leaguer.
Yes. So, the other side of the coin is think about the bullpen. They signed Darren O'Day, season-ending surgery. He was supposed to be the righty specialist. He's out. He's not with the team anymore. He's got to get surgery, and we'll see where he goes from there. Nick Nelson was supposed to be a guy they hoped to do something. He's not doing anything. Justin Wilson, they gave money to, and he's just bad. He's just not good. Britton is still, like, kind of on the path to recovery.
If the team were in a better spot, you would shrug at what Britton's done so far and be like, well, he hasn't done spring training, and he'll be fine, but
Chad and Loaizaga are being used way more than they should be getting used. I mean, I just listened to the Rose rotation, and Trevor May was talking about how, like, when he's getting used a lot, it means things aren't going well. Chad and Johnny are being used all the time. We had Brooks Crispy in 2 save situations.
Back-to-back 10th innings with leads.
If there's any billboard over the Yankees right now, it's we need bullpen help. Nestor's supposed to be a reliever. He's starting for us because all the starters are hurt. So he leaves the reliever hurt. So you have 2 guys that are going to be Rule 5 picks. They're not going to be part of the team anyway next year. You're losing them no matter what. You have a glaring need for a bullpen arm right now. So they go and they get Clay Holmes from the Pirates. He's a bullpen arm for right now, and then they also have 3 years of him, so 3 more seasons after this season. So if he's immediate help now, and he can be better than Brooks Kriske in a save situation, that's like a necessary need, plus 3 years after that. Again, I'm talking like emphatically, not because I think this is an amazing trade that should be clapped for or applauded, because I just think it is so common sense and makes sense, but people acted like it was the dumbest and worst thing they ever seen.
Acting like it's reacting any more than like shrug.
Shrug makes sense.
Like getting much more excited than that. You can think positively about it, I guess, but even overwhelmingly positive. I mean, you look at Clay Holmes' Baseball Reference. He hasn't been good yet. I'm guessing we're about to do.
Yeah, we can talk about Clay Holmes a little bit.
Stuff. He's got interesting stuff. It hasn't translated to results on basically any level yet, but
he's been good this year.
He's been like fine. I mean, look at unless he pitched last night, and that helps up. He's a major leaguer for sure.
I think I saw 33 scoreless outings.
I didn't look at a game log. Overall numbers.
33 scoreless outings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, where he gave up 1 run. And he's got 3 stinkers, like stinkers that tank his ERA. Like, reliever ERA is the dumbest shit in the world. He's got 3 games where he didn't complete the inning and gave up 4 runs, 5 runs, 5 runs. That's 3 games out of 44. So, I mean, reliever ERA is done.
I mean, even
so
we talk about, I don't know, you're looking at game logs and stuff. The innings where he did give up runs, did they have like 3-run leads? He gave up 1. Like, he did what he was asked.
He entered down 1, left down 2, entered down 1, left down 2, entered tied down 1. So he's coming in losses and furthering the damage with those 1 runs.
Impact runs.
Yeah. I mean, but he's not. He's not coming to the Yankees to be
the fix.
Like, he's not coming to the Yankees to be a high leverage guy.
I mean, this is a move.
He's coming to, like, maybe at best he takes what Sessa's been doing and Sessa becomes a high leverage guy because he's looked really good lately. At best, like, it's not like they traded for Clay Holmes and he's going to be the 8th inning guy.
He's 6th guy on the pecking order.
Yeah. It's for 2 guys that they were going to lose. So, I mean,
they might have made this move. Like, if this season was going as good as it can be and you have the same, like, usage, injury stuff, whatever, they might have made this move anyway just because you take a chance.
Yeah.
You're moving 2 guys who had nothing and aren't going to be part of the future.
It's such a shrug move. And, the Yankees have been able to find bullpen arms. It's not like they're not good at finding starters. We all know that. There's a long documented history of that. But, they did trade for Chad Green. They did protect Johnny Loizaga when it seemed like they were not going to protect him at all. They did bring in Litke, who they wanted forever. So they have.
They're good at identifying bullpen talent. I mean, even
So that's
Blondie's been bad and out lately, but he had a nice run there.
Yeah,
it was much better than what Giants fans saw.
Yeah, and like this trade, like it's the Yankees can still make more trades if they want. I mean, they're not like in anything, so like they shouldn't give up much. But
I mean, all year we've talked about they're going to stay under the luxury tax and stuff, and they have a lot of holes they can fill with whatever buffers left.
Yeah,
and this is like a way to help the bullpen at least around the margins without using all the luxury
arms,
tax
man.
space.
It's like him and Sal Romano are just like arms.
Like, how else are they going to upgrade the bullpen and get, like, the outfielder people want or another starting pitcher? Like, this is the bullpen guy they kind of have to – they're high-leverage guys or they're high-leverage guys at this point.
They need to, like, pick it up a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, so this is just a shrug trade. They also traded for Canely. That was another guy,
Identified the talent.
Yeah. So, yeah, just like a shrug trade. Okay. Two guys that they were going to lose through the Rule 5 draft eventually for a reliever that's going to be around for 3 years. The only real downside is that Clay Holmes has no options. So if he stinks, they're going to DFA him, or they're going to Luis Cessa him and just ride him out, and he's like the last because they want to keep him around.
At some point,
if he had one option, I think I'd do just like a shrug and a nod. Be like, okay.
They probably try to preserve that option through this year, and then they have it next year.
Yeah, without it, it's just a shrug. It's really nothing.
But he's 28. Like, if he isn't working out, I don't think they're scared to lose him if that's what they have to do.
Yeah. His sinker is cool. He throws a power sinker, like a 99 mile per hour sinker, right?
Yeah, he has like interesting stuff that you can see what the Yankees might like and try to change about him that we can get into after
I tell you a little bit about the deal of the day, and it's still the Olympics. DraftKings, if you bet on any American to win a medal, you can get 100 free credits, $1 bet, and they've won medals, and they're going to win medals. They're watching it outside in the room right now. It's archery.
Ooh, they had the water polo on right before. I think it was towards the end.
How's America doing? My brother-in-law is a water polo enthusiast. Played it in college. Played against.
I believe it was the American water polo game that was on out there, and they were up like 15-2.
Hell
Don't
yeah!
know who we were playing.
I think Japan gave him a scare in game 1. I stayed up to watch that with my brother-in-law. I watched like half of it, then I left, but he was nervous. So go bet on the water polo. They'll medal for sure. You get 100 free credits that you can take those. You can bet it on baseball, make the games more interesting for yourself. Bet responsibly. So download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code JOMBOY when you sign up. Turn $1 into $100 in free credits if America wins a medal. That's code JOMBOY to turn $1 into $100 in free credits for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, New Jersey, Indiana, or PA only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Man, gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or in Indiana, 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Did they do corresponding roster move for Clay Holmes yet?
The 40-man move was Brantley back down, which means Higgy, I guess, is going to be back today.
Yep.
So there's going to be another one. I don't know. So it's going to be another move. Get Higgy back.
Okay. John Heyman. Do we want to do John Heyman things or no?
Did he just tweet something? Or is that the story thing?
Yeah. He was on Moose and Maggie, and John Heyman said that the offer for Trevor Story from the Yankees wasn't great.
Well,
that's how you start.
What does make an offer mean?
Make an offer, it's all nonsense. And now people are saying the Yankees might be in on Kepler. I don't believe anything.
I'll believe. I mean, Kepler is a guy that would make sense because there's years of control there. I don't know how many. I can look that up.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I don't believe any of these reports.
Like when something happens, I'll believe it. But
Kepler has pulling it up.
Yeah, he's got. You'd be
2 more
trading.
years. Be a big trade, yeah.
Yeah, and there's and it's a team option for a 3rd year after this year.
Okay.
That'd be a bigger move if it happened.
Yeah.
I guess he would fit under the plan. His salary this year is 6.5, 7.
I forgot about all that. I haven't been even calculating. Why are people still saying Trevor Story? It seems impossible.
I mean, like, yeah, you can do a trade where the Rockies would pay it, but the Trevor Story thing would, at this point, not make sense because he makes a lot of money, so you'd have to.
And it's never made sense, right?
Not really, because he's a free agent after the year. He's owed money, so even with him being expiring, you probably have to give the Rockies a prospect you like. Nothing crazy because it's a rental, but then if you're going to get them to pay the salary, which the Yankees would have to do because they're not going over the luxury tax, you have to give like a couple pieces you like, and he can just like walk. I mean, yeah, you get him in the building and he's familiar and going into free agency if he's a target for you.
Yeah.
I kind of find it hard to believe they're gonna sign one of the big shortstop contracts because they're still a year away from Britton and Chapman coming off the books, and
but they will go over next year.
They will,
depending on the CBA. But they're resetting it this year for a reason, so they can go over the luxury tax next year. But yeah, I don't know. I still stand firm that trading for a rental right now is kind of a fool's errand unless you're positive you can sign them.
And there could be a guy you get because, they probably need to go get another outfielder just to finish out this year. They just kind of need a MLB level body, but so that could be a rental that you give up nothing air quotes for, but
wouldn't it be
an impact rental would be a shocking move.
I'm so defeated that it's I just wanted to say, wouldn't it be it's just not Yankees mindset. Yankees are out of it. Let's just give Florial full run all of August and September.
Center field 2 months.
See what he's got. Let him learn.
And it's been so far so good.
Yeah, but he might be down today for Judge.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if they're out of it, they're 3.5 out of the wild card.
They won't be mathematically out of it until it's too late for that to really mean anything. If you could get Florial a full month, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Someone in the chat just said they're 3 games out of a playoff spot, and you guys are saying the season is over. How many teams? We're going to do this in Talking Baseball. How many teams can win the World Series that are going to get a playoff spot on a given year? People like to say baseball is a crapshoot, but it's not. There's teams that you can say there's no fucking way that team can last. And right now the Yankees have 2 starting pitchers, depending on the time through.
Yeah.
Cole,
Tyone,
Monty
and Tyone would be your 1, 2, 3 if you were starting today.
Herman had a great start, but they
he's
also
on a bad run, and his stuff would translate to a bullpen role the best, I think.
Bullpen's weak. This Yankees team isn't making a deep run unless they do make some crazy trades, and Kluber comes back and is fully healthy, and Sevy comes back and is fully healthy,
and essentially the whole roster plays better,
and the whole roster magically gets better. Making the second wild card would be fun. Last year I went into the playoffs saying there's no way they could win the World Series.
And
because they didn't have the pitching.
They tricked you a little bit
tired.
Because, Cleveland, they clicked for those 2 games, and they looked good in that first Rays game. Then they did the Davey Happ stuff, and it was now the vibes are ruined. So.
Yeah, pitching gets tired. You need so much pitching.
You get in, could you sneak through? The Yankees are a talented team. Yeah, nothing's impossible in baseball, what we're saying, but there's teams that you would expect to get through way before other teams.
Yeah. I think there's
any given
year there's 4 teams, and you just look at the top 3 pitchers and then the top 4 out of the bullpen, and then you make up your mind.
Yeah. And other teams can definitely give a scare.
MLB trade rumors. Is there anything else that's coming out? I'm going to go to MLB trade rumors. I'm going to click Yankees and see if there's any other. Do they make any other transactions? Sometimes I just go to Yankees transactions page. That's where I saw Sal Romano, which wasn't announced anywhere.
Yeah, they just drop those.
Remember, because it'll be on there. Pittsburgh trade. Clark Schmidt is on a rehab assignment. Man, what a bummer for Clark Schmidt. He was supposed to be part of the team in a way, come up, get some innings here and there.
Who knows exactly what his role was going to be, but he was going to have a role.
Throws too hard in spring training too early. Didn't he admit he was trying to impress and look good right away?
He was really proud of his offseason work and just went too much.
And missed the whole season because of that. That's crazy. They returned Rob Brantley to Scranton. That's all.
Yeah. Wojciechowski were a few days behind on this, but he's free agent now. They DFA'd him. Thought they might be able to get him back, and
someone grabbed him?
No, he just elected free agency instead of outright assignment.
Okay. They still might get him.
Still good, but at least he's gonna go mull some other offers. And the Yankees, I would imagine, is still possibly his clearest path to MLB.
Getting another start, yeah. They have a Corey Kluber update. He threw 25-pitch bullpen session on Friday. He's very confident he'll be able to turn in 2021.
Cool.
He was initially targeted for a late July return at the time of his IL placement for a shoulder strain. But GM Brian Cashman said it might not be back until September. We'll see. There's so many setbacks all the time. Like a 25-pitch bullpen isn't that close. Sevy's closer, right?
I think so. He's at least further along in his process. I mean, maybe Kluber can return around the same time. Who knows? It
seemed like they were more excited about Severino's bullpen. The Kluber deal, man. Whoa! Did you see that? My heel hit the
thing.
The lower your seat thing. Because Severino's throwing simulated games. So that's a step further than 25 fastball only bullpen.
Yeah. I guess he still hasn't made like a rehab start yet. But he's thrown the simulated games. Like, cool. And he's the guy that you get more excited about if he comes back and they just let him air it out for like 30 pitches. And like that's all the start is. Like Kluber, kind of what's the point if he's not going to give you a real start?
Yeah. So they say about Sevy, once he does start pitching in games, the Yankees plan to have him build up to 5 or 6 innings before they consider bringing him back up to the big league roster. So he tossed 2 simulated innings and totaled 38 pitches at Fenway Park on Saturday. Opens my phone, gets a calendar out. So what are they talking about? Okay, so doesn't the roster need to be set by August 31st? Or is it the 40-man? You can reinstate people?
Like, you mean for like playoff eligibility stuff?
Yeah.
You have to be in the organization by that day to be like playoff eligible.
Yeah, because Schwarber and Hicks all came from the okay.
You can come back.
So let's see. Saturday was the 24th. That's when he threw his simulated game of 2 innings. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means around Friday. Thursday or Friday, the 29th or 30th, Sevy should do another simulated game. And then in August, I'm guessing 1, 2, 3. I'm guessing August 4th, 5th. I'm hoping if that's his first game. And then they got to build him up. So we're looking at the 4th or the 5th.
Assume he comes back.
Then August 9th, 10th. Then August 16th, 17th. We're looking at 3 starts in the minors.
You'd assume he does like a 2, a 3, and a 5 inning.
Yeah. 3 to 4. So, we're looking at late August, earliest.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting kind of the same thing we got in 2019 where he's back for September.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing the same thing.
That was enough for him to get playoff starts. But he was good in those starts. That was cool.
In 19?
Yeah, it wasn't like his first like 2 or 3 back were, I think, scoreless. I think he gave up one.
Yes. And then, well, yeah, in the postseason, because he only made 3 starts in 19.
I don't remember how he did.
He had the game in Minnesota where he had like bases loaded and he had to get out of it. 4 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, and then, but see, he can only go 4 innings, 4.1 innings.
Yeah, it wasn't like wasn't 100%. Not
like the Yankees need a good August.
Yeah.
And if Kluber and Severino are parts of the reinforcements or getting better or whatever, like
and particularly
by the time they're back, they could be
particularly Sevy. It's hard to like demand results from him if he's
you
pitching.
have him for next year.
You have him like you start him if he's around, but
yeah.
It's hard for us to demand like excellence. It's like you haven't pitched in 2 years. It's tough.
And coming off major surgery.
And a setback on recovery and surgery 3 years ago. It's hard to like for us to have expectations for him. Kluber, if he's back, he kind of has to pitch well. Vet and all that. He's only here this year.
Did they
pitched this year?
Do we have an update on Vogt? They said early August.
I didn't see anything like
which is like next
firm.
week. 15 hours ago, Judge, Higgy, and Vogt all worked out at Steinbrenner Field. The article is from 15 hours ago, not the workout.
Not the tweet.
So, I mean, Higgy's been cleared to play, you're guessing, because Brantley was the move. And also because they can just sit Higgy and he can be a bench player. Like, they don't.
He's a guy you can. His, like, whole job is sometimes having to come in cold.
Yeah.
Where, like, LeMahieu goes out 2 weeks. They had him, like, go to Tampa and do a bullpen first. Or Nestor, I think, he went to Tampa and did a bullpen first.
Oh, man. I'm trying to... There's a quote in this article I want to read, but I don't want to pay for the whole article. So...
It's tough.
It looked like a good quote. I think I got
That's
it.
how they get you.
Yeah. Judge looked good in the field. Where is it? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Schmidt throws. I'm doing something so dumb right now. I hate myself. Where was this damn quote? Okay, I think I found the quote. Because Boone said a day. He said, I don't know about Tuesday. Boone said, I don't know about Tuesday.
That's today.
That's today. So he doesn't know if Judge... So if Boone says, I don't know about Tuesday, about Judge joining the team, that means Judge isn't joining the team Tuesday, today. We just have to see what we're dealing with. I know Monday will be a big day for him and Higgy as they go through their cardiac screening and things like that. They'll have a good day of work at the minor league complex in Tampa, so we'll see where we're coming out of Monday and how much we feel like they need to get in the game. So it maybe if like things went outstanding. Things go outstanding. Maybe Judge plays today, maybe not. Do we want to do some lineup guess? I mean,
A lot depends on if Judge is gonna play.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there's a live chat right now. Maybe I'll just
We can talk to the chat.
I'll talk to the chat. We'll get some questions. It's brought to you by Manscaped. Get your Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 right now. And all the Yankees should get it, because if an athlete treats their body like royalty, why not treat their pubes like Olympic gold? Ooh. Put it right up to do like a soundtrack for the thing. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code YANKS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code YANKS at manscaped.com. Achieve pubic glory this year with manscaped.com. Hey, Alexa, buy me a Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0. Think that would work?
With code Yanks.
Think anyone has like auto buy on Amazon or Alexa?
I think you can at least it'll like put it in your shopping cart pretty easy.
Is that illegal for me to do?
Hopefully auto purchasing doesn't happen.
What if I just bought everything for everyone? Alexa, put Manscaped 4.0. Alexa, put Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 in my shopping cart. Someone let me know if that did anything with your Alexa. One time on JJR, we were saying Alexa a lot, and everyone was like, please stop. It's actually doing the thing you think it's doing.
The joke you're doing, not so big a joke.
Dude, I saw some other people responded and said that they sent Lamar switchblade combs. So like Lamar's, I saw I think 2 people reached out, so that's 8 or 12 switchblade combs. So I wonder if Lamar's gonna come back. The chat is saying that all of their Alexas turned on.
A lot of OMG, please stop. Never do that. And you know what? That's kind of fair.
It's fair. I'll stop. I will stop. I don't know, just trying to hook Manscaped up, They're real nice to us.
I guess for our purposes, it's better for you to go to manscaped.com, use code Yanks.
Yeah, I didn't buy it with code Yanks. Shit. Code Yanks when you guys do it. Do you want to talk about Gallo, man? It seems like
sure.
It seems like such wasted. Who was the Gallo of 2 years ago in 19 that everyone wanted him to get?
Ooh. I mean, it probably would have been a pitcher. I don't remember who. I don't even remember who the big names were then.
I mean, it was Cole 1 year. Okay, it was
Cole.
Actually, it was Cole. It was
trade.
off season. We wasted so much time on when it was obvious they weren't going to trade for him. Actually, they tried, and then it was Klub. Do you remember the Kluber when they were?
When he went to the Rangers.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess was the Bauer trade in 19 when he went to the Reds? Yeah.
Yeah, but they weren't going to get.
They weren't. It never felt like that was on the table, but he was a guy
I know
targeting because he had this year plus a year.
I know everyone. Oh, man, I get so frustrated at trade deadline. I need Jake to level me out because he sees things through a different scope than me. But someone in the chat just said they've ruined Davy Garcia, and I saw someone yesterday saying that. They the Yankees always fuck up their prospects, and they were Chance Adams, Sheffield, Davey, and I was like, scouts weren't that high on any of those guys, man.
Davy's the one.
Davy's the highest, but even then no
people
one ever
don't
said
see him
Davey
as an ace.
No one ever said Davey was going to be an ace. No scouts, and if you use your eyes.
I think Davey can be a nice, good major leaguer. We saw flashes last year.
Yeah,
that's kind of what every scout's high end opinion.
I'm as cynical as cynical gets, especially with pitching. But people were high on Chance Adams, but no one ever.
Nope. Chance Adams is kind of in a different tier than those two because he was never on prospect boards as a high prospect. He's fringe top 10, I think, on most
and
top 10
and Sheffield
stuff.
scouts were he's going to be a reliever or a back end starter.
Yeah, it's he's interesting. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. People fall in love with prospects and
progression isn't linear and all that. I don't know, Dave's allowed to have a bad year in the minors. He's not supposed to be ready yet.
Yeah, he's so young.
Pitching's hard.
He's so young. He's so young. Is there anyone you don't want him to trade? That you would be hurt? I mean, obviously the Martian. You can't trade him.
You can't trade the Martian. I don't have strong. There's not any prospects I've fallen in love with.
I mean,
all the names you hear, it's I know those are the high value guys, so you'd like to avoid doing it. It sounds like Volpe is the. Reading the nerd articles and stuff I read from time to time, / just when I get home. It seems like the Martian and Volpe are the two Yankees are not trading them. So I guess
okay
because Volpe's had.
Would you care?
He was a first round pick.
Vargas, Medina, Peraza, Siegler. Do you have any that you'd be I'd really hate it?
I guess Peraza is the one, but if they've identified Volpe as their guy, they're positionally the same. There's nobody I'd be I'd lose any sleep over. Not that I'm
the other thing
expert by any means.
The other thing that was annoying me yesterday about the reaction to the Hoy Park news was people but yet Wade gets a chance to be on the team. Wade's in purgatory. Yeah. They're hindering his development like crazy because they don't fully believe in him as a starter, but they like him off the bench.
You know
what I mean?
And
if
his defensive versatility stuff.
If they, quote unquote, people are saying, yet they believe in Wade. If they believed in Wade, he'd be in AAA getting starts every day, or have been traded to go get starts every day
at any point in the last several years.
I mean, it's been 4 years of them not giving a fuck about Tyler Wade's consistent playing time or development. Like, they like him as a defensive replacement and speed off the bench. And they're going to ride out the 6 years they have him for that, and then someone else might grab him.
MLB level tools, otherwise they wouldn't let him be on the MLB roster.
But they think more of Florial than Wade, and that's why they're being cautious with Florial not bringing him up too early.
Yeah. That's why before they called him about a necessity, Boone had quotes about we're thrilled Florial's getting every day at bats in AAA.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, I'm not trying to knock Tyler, but they're not setting him up for success.
At some point during his time on the MLB roster, he would have gotten a full month of every day, like 4 at bats every day.
They brought up Estrada over Wade. And they brought up a lot of guys and gave when they needed every day, and they've never. They even gave Toe in 2017 everyday reps, and have they ever given Wade everyday reps? What's the most amount of starts he's gotten in a row?
I mean, Glaber's been out for an injury, so he's gotten 10 in a row. I think at some point.
You think so?
Even then, I would guess at some point. Starts in a row, maybe 10. If in 2019, maybe at some point we had multiple infielders out. It's been out of necessity,
I don't
not
think
them giving him a chance.
I would guess.
And he's been in a couple opening day lineups. And
if I told you he'd never gotten 5 in a row, would you be shocked, or would you?
I'd be shocked if he hadn't gotten 5 in a row.
Okay, so
because injuries. But
I'm gonna find this real quick. I think I know the easy way to do it. I think.
Yeah, I mean and you look at the Yankees have made it pretty clear with quotes and stuff, and you look at any minor league stats or whatever, and Florial's been good. Florial, they don't think he's ready. They've made it pretty clear they don't think he's ready to be an MLB player, but he's on the roster out of necessity, so they're playing him just about every day. They like him. They want to get him reps. Wade's never gotten that treatment.
In 2017, when he first got his stint, Wade got 3 in a row. Left field, second base, right field. So 3 is the reigning leader right now. In 2018, the most games Wade started in a row was 2. In 2019,
this is the year that I think it would have happened.
Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a 5er, so we have a new leaderboard, 5 in a row. And then 5 in a row again. So 2 stretches of 5 in a row in 19. Now, at the end of 2020, I think he was getting run. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again in 2020. And that's all. So we don't have, and there's no way he did it this year, right?
I can't imagine. I mean, we had, it might have happened when Glaber was on the COVID list.
Most he's played in a row this year.
And even then, that's when they started doing Gio at short stuff.
It's 4. So if you're still saying the Yankees believe in Tyler Wade, they've never started him 6 games in a row, and he's been part of 5 MLB seasons.
He's never gotten a week.
He's never gotten a full week to get into a groove. If they believed he could get into a groove, they've never even given him 6 starts in a row. So we gotta stop saying whoa, they fucking trade Hoyt Park, but they give Wade the chance. They haven't given Wade a chance because they don't believe
even then,
him.
I'd be curious within the couple 5 games in a row he's gotten, how many times was it they gave, if somebody was getting a day off, they got him in there for a late at bat? Did he full games?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Very few, and that's, I would assume, is much harder to find as quick as you did.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go to this is one of his 5-game streaks in 19, and yeah, he got pinch hit for in the first game, and then he got pinch hit for in the second game. Third game, he got to play the all 9. Fourth game, got to play all 9. Fifth game, got to play all 9. And again, I'm not trying to say that they're doing Wade dirty, or
he hasn't forced the issue.
I'm saying the quote but they believe in Tyler Wade is no, they clearly do not believe in Tyler Wade as a starting player at all. they've never let him do it. They like him as a bench piece.
Like, if you're going to say that, you say that about, like, Gardner. And Gardner has a long major league career to show why they believe in him because he plays every day. But even then this year, we know he's not supposed to, but injuries happen.
And as a bench player, Wade's got the tools they like. He can play almost every position on the field besides, I mean, he could play first. Like, if they needed to, I think they'd be like, in a bind, we play him. So maybe every
they'd
pitcher.
Probably think they're capitalizing more if they put him in and send DJ
and someone else
Gio
first. But so I mean, like,
to first. But
again, I don't know how I got into this.
But yeah, he could.
It's just like, I just saw that a lot. Yet they believe in Wade. Like, no, they don't, guys.
Giving him a major league roster spot isn't quite the same as believing.
Yes, I like
Wade more than most people like Wade, but
to be like the last guy in the bullpen or a bench piece isn't having a team believe in you. It's almost the opposite.
Yeah, it's believing in you enough to, depending on the guy, to just like, well, you're around.
Yeah,
but
we said we were gonna look at the chat if they had any questions, but I can't see any. They're just responding.
So people are saying they think Judge is going to
be Jared Williams with a great take. He says, I just want the Yankees to win more games again. And I mean, yes, absolutely.
Yup.
I'm with there. What's happening with DJ? He's a double play machine. There were signs of regressing like last year, which is why a lot of teams didn't want to pay for the future, and the Yankees kind of had to pay for the past. Like, we have DJ for a while.
And they got such value on those 2 years. Like,
so
obviously teams generally don't operate this way, but they kind of owed him.
I'm hoping, that he can start barreling balls again, because his barrel rate is down. He's at 16 percentile in barrel rate. He was at 9 last year. 2019, he's never like huge because he doesn't hit line drives, and he just puts the ball in play. But I mean, last year and this year are the lowest it's been in a while.
And he had like I guess he's still kind of fake on the hot streak because it's a 35 game on base streak or whatever. I think his July exit velo and angle stuff was looking better.
The exit velo's bad and the hard hit rate, so it's just not.
It was better this month because it wasn't going to be as bad as it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's what he was the last 2 years. I don't think is what he is, and he's also he's getting older. He's entering his mid-30s. He's between these two things, though.
Yeah, man. I mean, from last year and this year, some of the stuff's pretty similar. He's actually barreling the ball more this year than last year, but way down from 19 and 18. He had a 7.5 barrel percentage in 19. He's got a 4.2 this season. Solid contact is up from 19, his MVP vote season. So I don't know. It's very weird. It's very weird. His ground ball, fly ball, line drive percentages aren't like that much to say that's it. There's differences, but it's not crazy. So yeah, not making the contact.
Obviously, Yankees were in a bind. They had to get him back. He's like the only guy that gives a different look. It's like I get why he had to sign, but like it frustrates me the people that are like the most mad about DJ on Twitter and stuff, which I guess shouldn't be representative, but I would imagine that Venn diagram between them and the blank check people last offseason has a pretty big middle area.
Yes. It's like, yes. But yeah, I mean, he's below average right now on the season. That's not good.
And the defense hasn't been like special.
Yeah, he moves so much. I feel bad for him there.
Yeah, I think if he got to just stay at a spot for a while, he'd be fine.
So what did he have?
I don't think he likes moving around that much.
I don't think any player does. He had a good June. He had a good June, not amazing, but good June. He had a 292 batting average, 350, 792 OPS isn't amazing, but like the batting average and out OBP are great. Slugging's not really there. He's having a bad July, so I don't know what's going on with DJ, man.
And like the entire streak he's on is pretty much July.
Fayal says that DJ, he says he looks like he's good until runners are on base. Let's check.
Or his on base numbers.
Let's check that split. Where is that? Clutch stats? Is that under that category?
I would imagine clutch or leverage or.
No, I thought there's just with bases occupied. So just men on base. He's got a men on base ain't bad. Runners in scoring position's bad. Man on first is actually good. Man on just second is terrible. So the Yankees aren't giving signals or stealing signs. Not for DJ.
Yeah. And I don't think very many of his outs in those positions. Anecdotally, I don't think they've been very productive outs.
Yeah. Bases loaded. He's got a 1 dot OPS with bases loaded.
Yeah, and not a nothing sample. It's 5 for 11.
Yeah,
that's good.
He's terrible when. Well, it's only 4 at bats. Never mind. 2 outs, runners in scoring position. Not great. Whatever. All that's kind of semantical.
This is a game I was playing with my dad a little bit a couple weeks ago. Just going through who do you think's hitting to the most double plays on the team. Because it feels like DJ's a lot of them. Not one of the 3 most. It's just funny.
Most double plays, I would guess Gio or Gary.
They are 2 and 3.
They're 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Glaber?
Glaber is 8th on the team. And it's kind of a big cluster.
Good job, Glaber.
Bunch of guys between 7 and 10, but the most on the team is 13. Gio has 11.
And it's not DJ, Gio, or Gary?
DJ hasn't
Stanton?
hit into 10 yet. It's Stanton.
Because he doesn't run at all.
He's instructed not to run.
He's going to play the outfield soon.
Yeah, Stanton has 13, Gio 11, Gary 10, DJ and Judge both have 9, Andujar and Frazier both have 8, both on the IL.
Man, chat, you got anything else you want to chat about before we guess the lineup tonight? I'm asking if Hicks has been with the team at all in the dugout. No, he's not.
So. When you're out for the year.
Yeah, when you're out for the year, usually not. Trevor May, or was it Glasnow talked about that on the Chris Rose rotation. He said, yeah, usually they don't want you to travel with the team when you're on the IL because it's just too many bodies. You just clog up the dugout.
Especially in COVID times and stuff.
Yeah, so, when Andujar was out, he was just watch it on Instagram Live and shit. I don't know too much about Clay Holmes. Don't like the trade at all. Traded for another reliever. Watch the beginning of the show.
I guess we didn't fully do what Clay Holmes repertoire and stuff is. It's I don't know. He's got a cool sinker.
Sinker. He used his curveball in 2020 a lot, and now he doesn't at all.
Yeah, was that he? The thing I saw was he's got a 50-50 split between that sinker and the other 50 is his curveball / slider thing.
Yeah.
So you would assume
he's a righty killer. He's he's going to be like O'Day. They have a lot of lefties, especially if Wandy comes back.
He's been an elite soft ground ball guy. I think the number I found. He's 6th in MLB since 2018 in ground ball rate, just under 65%. Britain's the best in baseball, just under 80%.
Yeah. Here's a good question.
He walks too many people. That's
what it is.
What gets him.
I like that. I mean, I like that you know that.
Yeah, I think he has a 13% walk rate. That's been his bugaboo. Which I guess makes sense a little bit because he's trying to nibble and get you to swing over the top of stuff.
Yeah. And it looks like he throws a 100-mile-per-hour sinker and probably
every night you get some good pitch ninja.
I was looking at what pitches get miscalled the most, what pitches in the 2021 season have been in the zone, but umpires called them balls the most, and it's sinkers. It's a lot of. It was Wade Miley's sinker was the number one, or no, I forget, but it was a sinker was the number one pitch.
I guess that tracks.
Yeah,
falls out.
You just miss it. Yeah.
Has to go down to catch it.
Yeah. Peter Durant says, would you rather the Yankees make the wild card and lose, or just be out of it early and have the young guys play the rest of the season? I'd rather the latter, and it's just like my gut tells me that, because I think this needs to be a losing season to make changes.
Fundamentals going to change.
If anything about the mindset and the way they go about their regular season is going to change, which I am desperate for, then I think they have to not win. But if they make the wild card, I'm going to have unrational belief for them to win the wild card game, and then you just start rolling the dice. I don't think they can do it. It depends on who the pitchers are and like what the bullpen's looking like at the time. But I think for the betterment of 2022, like what do I think helps them more in 2022? Missing the playoffs, because I think that's a fucking dagger to their mindset. It's embarrassment to their entire organization. Their meetings they'd have to change philosophies. They'd have to really gut check themselves and think, what the fuck did we do? And then if they were able to give Florio a full September, give these guys like full runs, see what they got. Like,
of course, I don't think they'll fall out enough to do that.
Yeah, they won't fall out enough to do that. But that's what I'm saying.
Be cool.
Depends. Like, obviously, they're 3 games out. They can make that second wild card. They can win a wild card game. Obviously, they can. Yeah, but
baseball.
How much does that say? Well, we just ran into some bad luck. Let's roll the dice back again next year and do the same strategies and the same mindset. And it's like,
the mindset becomes so different going into this year as like the AL favorites.
Yeah, if they don't make the
miss
playoffs,
the playoffs entirely,
yeah,
finished 4th in the division, even 3rd, but
yeah,
like being straight up embarrassed about this year. You can talk yourself into stuff like, yeah, well, we went on a run at the end of the year to get into the wild card spot, and then anything can happen. And we did win the wild card game and got a series, so it's kind of where you want to get.
Yeah. I wonder how much different the 2016 roster is if they don't make the wild card in 2015.
Yeah.
I wonder if, I don't know. Because they had all those contracts were coming off after 2016 anyway.
I think that kind of was going to just be the group.
Let me look that up. 2015 baseball reference. 2015 Yankees. Weren't they like? Did they start off hot?
I think like at least like entering July or something, they had best record in baseball or in the AL or something. I remember at one point they were like in first by a decent margin. Everyone was like, are they going to win the World Series this year? We kind of didn't expect that.
So they were in first place.
Second half was bad.
On August 24th, they were leading the division. Now, it was going back and forth a little bit, but they were leading the division August 24th. That's late in the season to be leading the division. They end up only making the wild card, right? But let's see who was.
They were up 7 games, looks like the high water mark. They're up 7 games on July 28th, 2015.
And that was Ellsbury, Gardner, A-Rod at DH.
That was like his nice bounce back year.
Beltran, McCann. Ew, man. And then Bird and Refsnyder got a lot of run, and Didi was not good, but he was young. Bird had a great fill-in season.
Bird was good when he got his run.
So then they rolled the dice back on that group, right? Because in 2016 it was Ellsbury, Gardner, A-Rod at DH. That's how they started the season. Tex, McCann, Beltran. That's so old. I remember when we met Greg Bird, and I was like, what was it like when you first came up with those 2015 Yankees? And he was like, everyone was really old. As we said, he was like, it was like going from AAA to that team. He was like, it was a really
like the oldest team.
Yeah, he's like, it was a really old clubhouse.
And I guess until fairly recently, the Yankees were always like the oldest team.
How old was Bird? 22?
2015, something like that. Maybe 23. Trying to find that. He was 22 that debut season.
So he was 22, and he gets called up, and A-Rod's 39, Beltran's 38, Tex is 35.
Unlike the Baseball Reference list of like starters at every position, only one under 31 was Didi at 25.
I remember when we met him, he was just like, yeah, it's just a really old clubhouse.
And like the premier guy off the bench, Chris Young was 31. Brendan Ryan was 33. Yeah, all like the regulars on the team.
Yeah.
J.R. Murphy was the backup, and he was 24. So he was the other like young guy.
All right. Let's see. We'll guess the lineup for tonight.
Some young pitchers.
Brought to you by Mansplain Baseball Elsewhere. Mansplain Baseball Elsewhere, hosted by the badass trio of Ashland, Emily, and Marla. It's released every Tuesday on the JOMBOY Media Network. The girls give weekly reviews of everything involving Braves baseball as well as AL team updates and other big stories from around the league. They've had incredible guests from the sports personality world, including Jessica Kleinschmidt, Emily Walden, Jeff Francoeur, so much more. If you're looking for a deep dive into Braves baseball, and that's just about as sad as the time as we have right now, this podcast was made for you. Give it a listen anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Again, new episodes are released every Tuesday. That's Mansplain Baseball Elsewhere. Ashland came to us for the Denver trip. She was a part of a lot of that. The Home Run Derby video is on the main channel, as well as the Blitzball video, and I think Lawn Games is coming out soon.
I think by the end of the week, maybe. Soon.
Yeah.
That's going to be a can't miss.
So let's try and guess the batting order.
Are we assuming Judge is out?
Yeah, I think so. Who's pitching for the Rays?
McClanahan is today. The Yankees, it is Monty.
Shane McClanahan. He's a lefty, so they should be able to do their righty stack if they want. The last time they faced a lefty was the last game in Boston. So let's say DJ leads off. Stanton bats second. Odor third. They've been doing that versus lefties.
I think so. I think even with a lefty starter, they like the breakup.
Yeah.
And McClanahan they don't let him like go.
Yeah, and they're going to be worried about the Rays, so they're probably going to go righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty today. So you go DJ, Stanton, Odor, Gary 4, and then Glaber 5. Now, Glaber's been 5 for a while, like every game, no matter what.
He's on a nice little run. Like, the vibes are pretty good around him right now.
Yeah.
So, fair.
So then they're going to try and get a lefty in there. Probably Gardner, center field in the Trop.
I guess if Judd, it's either Gardner or Florial, I guess. I would assume Gardner.
And then Gio, that pushes Gio all the way down to 7th.
And he was 7th the last game of the Red Sox series with a lefty on the hill.
Mm-hmm. I don't really like that.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Yeah. His first game back, it made more sense coming off the absence.
Oh, maybe they play Florial today because it's his last game.
Yeah.
Unless they've announced that Judge is back. Someone in the chat said...
or if there's like a quote out there about Judge being back.
Yeah, I can check the quotes real quick. Doesn't look like it.
There's nothing. I mean, he can pretty easily be back, but stupid Heyman tweets.
Yeah.
I don't know if
I can't see anything.
Yeah. Send who are the last two.
I don't think so. I mean, if Florial's in, he's going to play center, and Gardner's going to play left, and then you can play Allen right because they probably like having the switch hitter.
Allen at the end. I guess it's a Florial / Lamar. I guess if it's lefty stuff. I'd be surprised if Gardner's not in there because like Ray Series important. That played an important game.
Unless they play Florial in center today, and then Gardner plays the next 2.
Yeah, if they can get him the day off before 2 days in center on the turf.
Who knows what they're thinking? My official guess, I'm going to put Florial in center as the lefty after Glaber, which is bizarre for Florial to be 6 or Shella 7. And then I'll do Lamar in left and Allen in right. Does that make sense? DJ, Stan, Odor, Gary, Glaber, Florial, Urshela, Lamar, Allen.
I'll lock that in.
My thinking is that if Judge comes back tomorrow, that means Florial's going to get sent down, or Lamar.
Can be Lamar.
So they'll play Florial and Lamar today. That gives Gardner a day off the turf because they hate doing 3 days in a row on a turf, and it's against a lefty starter.
You can sub him in for Lamar later in the game.
Yeah.
If there's a tough righty coming in.
That's my guess. DJ, Stanton, Odor, Gary, Glaber, Florial, Urshela, Lamar, Allen. No Gardner today, but confidence in that guess? Not any. And how many times did we get this right? Never. I think we got it right once. We did get it right once.
I think we got it right once. It was just like 2 guys flipped that we had said these 2 could go either way. I think we'd officially guessed Gio then Glaber, and it was Glaber then Gio.
Yeah.
Which that counts.
The one thing they can do, if they do that, maybe they just righty stack them. Because what you can do is you can put Florial 9th, since like he's young.
Yeah, I guess Florial 9 is probably the more realistic.
Because you'd also want to be able to put you also want to be able to put Allen. Put Allen ahead of Urshela. So Glaber, Allen, Urshela, because then he's a switch hitter, so he breaks it up for relievers when they come in.
Or that's when you can also do Lamar there, and when the righty comes in, they're going to put in Gardy. But I'd rather it just be Allen because I think he's more likely to just play the whole game.
Yeah, you can do what you're saying, too. Whatever it is, the Yankees will overthink it. It's the Rays. They're trying to match them.
They try to outthink them. I'm trying to think of what the move is with today's lineup that can truly shock me. I guess it's just if Higgy plays. If Higgy's the starter.
That would be rather shocking. All right.
This isn't going to be the series Stanton plays left field because Trop.
Yeah, no, and he said that.
That's why it would be the truly, truly shocking one.
Yeah. All right.
I guess just Wade being in would be surprising.
Who's Ross Bolin?
That's not a question I can answer.
He tweeted that someone in his office is praising me and he's about to beat him up for it or something like that. But I don't know who he is.
This guy with the check mark?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess he doesn't like me. Okay.
That's so fair.
Yeah. He tagged me in it.
You don't have to like everybody. Yeah, the tag is so rude.
I just don't know what's going on there. All right. That's it. That's the show. We did a lot of stuff. If you're coming in live right now, we did the whole trade stuff at the start. And blah, 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 blah. Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams. Wow. Volume.
Oh, I muted you before when the glitch happened.
Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.